Welcome to Dice and Rice. Today I'm going to show you how to solve a particular geometry problem that I find rather interesting because it is very complex. Alright, so let's dive right in it. So it says over here in the diagram below, right triangle RSU is inscribed in circle O, and UT is the altitude drawn to hypotenuse RS. The length of RT is 16 more than the length of TS, and T is equal to 15. Find the length of TS. And find in simplest radical form the length of RU. So what we're going to do is first we're going to write the values and express them in terms of x, then we're going to solve the problem. So the length of RT is 16 more than the length of TS. Let's represent TS as 6. And RT is 16 more than TS, so it's 16 plus 6. Okay. 16 plus 6. Now, TU is 15. Now, we're drawing UT as an altitude. That means to the hypotenuse RS. So that means RTU and UTS are right angles because they are perpendicular. Now, if RUS is a right triangle, we have similar triangles because when we draw an altitude UT to hypotenuse RS, that creates three similar triangles. Similar triangles are in proportion, and we can write some sort of proportion in terms of all these three values, and that will solve, and we could solve for x by cross multiplying. But first, how do we know that RUS is a 90-degree angle? Well, we see RUS is inscribed in circle O, and RS is a diameter, 180. This is a central angle of this circle. So the central angle is equal to its arc, or the arc is half the angle of the inscribed angle that is forming this arc. So you see right over here, RS is going to be half of RUS. RUS will be half of RS. So RS is 180, the arc RS right here is 180, RUS will be half of 180, which is 90. So therefore we know that this is a 90-degree angle, and we're drawing an altitude, making similar triangles. So let's write a proportion. Well, we can see that RTU contains 16 plus x and 15, and TUS contains x and 15. So let's see if we can actually make a proportion, because by using the same sides. So we're going to use this side RT over this side TU over TS over this side. So let's do that. So we're going to do 16 plus x over 15 is equal to 15, which is this side, one leg over the other leg, which is x. Okay, now let's cross multiply. So 16 plus x times x is 16x plus x squared is equal to 15 times 50, which is 225. Okay, now let's rewrite that. We got x squared plus 16x is equal to 225, right? Now, since it's a quadratic equation, I'm going to have to take that 225 and minus it. So I'm not going to even rewrite that. I'm just going to write it as it is equal to 0. Now I take the roots of this equation, x and x over here. Now we're going to have to get factors of 225 in order to get 16. The factors of 225, if I take one factor minus the other, we have to get positive 16. So let's take 25 times negative 9. That works. We're going to do positive 25 and negative 9. Take the opposite roots, or take the roots, my bad, and we'll get positive 9. And we'll ignore the negative because you cannot have negative segments. So now x is 9. So let's rewrite that. So RT will be 16 plus 9, which is 25. And TS is 9. By the way, we just got the answer for one of the questions. So the length of TS, which is x, and we got x is 9, so we'll do 9. First, let's erase all this. Okay, 9, and this is 9. This is 16 plus 9, which is 25, and this was 15. Then they're asking for RU. So this is a 90-degree triangle, right, because it's an altitude. So it creates 90-degree angles. We're going to do 25 squared plus 15 squared, which is 625 plus 225 is equal to x squared, and this is 850 is equal to x squared, and then square root of 850 in order to get x by itself is going to be equal to x. Right? If I could square root like this, and we get x by itself. Now, but it says simplify it, right? Simplest radical form. So 850 splits up into two parts. 34, actually no, it splits up into 34 and 25, I think, right? And what's 25 is a perfect square, so we'll put 5 on the outside and 34 on the inside. 34 cannot be broken up, so we're left with 5 and 34. Okay, that is the answer to this problem. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.